What if I told you that the advice you've heard your whole life, work hard, get a good job, is actually a trap? Well, there's one single lesson the rich understand that keeps almost everyone else stuck. And we're about to break it all down.
This right here. This is the core idea. Sounds simple, right? But really, truly understanding this is the difference between a life of financial struggle and one of freedom. And the best way to get it is through the story of a 9-year-old kid who decided he was done being poor.
So, picture this. It's 1956. A 9-year-old boy gets told by his rich friends that he can't come to their beach house because, well, he's a poor kid. Ouch. That one comment sparked a single life-changing question for his dad. How do I get rich?
So what does he do? He and his best friend Mike cook up this brilliant, top-secret plan. They start going door to door, collecting old lead toothpaste tubes so they can melt them down, pour them into molds, and literally make their own money. Yep, their first business was counterfeiting nickels.
So his dad eventually finds a full-blown nickel factory in their driveway. But instead of getting mad, he just calmly explains the whole concept of counterfeiting. The boys are crushed, obviously, but then his dad gives them the most important advice of all. You've shown great creativity. Keep going, don't quit.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The boy's father, who was his highly educated schoolteacher, admitted he didn't actually know how to get rich. But he knew who did. He told them to go talk to Mike's dad, a man who didn't really look wealthy, but was quietly building an empire. This was the mentor who was going to change everything.
So they go meet the mentor. He's this busy, no-nonsense businessman who clearly doesn't have time for games. He listens for just a second, and then bam, he hits them with this strange, high-pressure, take-it-or-leave-it offer.
So here's the deal he lays out. I'll teach you, but not in a classroom. You have to work for me. No lectures, just real-world experience. And then he tells them they have 10 seconds to decide. This was their first test, learning to spot an opportunity and just seize it. They said yes.
And what was this life-changing job? Dusting thousands of cans in a convenience store every single Saturday. And the pay? A measly 10 cents an hour. I mean, even for a kid in the 1950s, that was a total slap in the face.
So after 4 weeks of this mind-numbing work and 0 lessons, the boy has had it. He marches right into the mentor's office furious and just lets him have it. He accuses him of being a greedy crook exploiting him. He was totally ready to walk away for good.
And right there, that's when the real lesson begins. The mentor wasn't surprised at all. In fact, he was waiting for this exact moment. Because all that frustration, the anger, that feeling of being used, that was lesson number 1. The mentor explains, look, life doesn't talk to you. It just pushes. He said most people spend their entire lives just getting pushed around. They get mad, they blame their boss, their job, whatever. But they miss the real lesson. They don't realize it's life itself pushing them to wake up and see the bigger picture.
That feeling of frustration they had, that was the exact same feeling that traps millions of adults. And the mentor was about to give this trap a name.
He called it the rat race. You know the one, the endless pattern of get up, go to work, pay bills, and then do it all over again. It's a cycle driven not by logic, but by 2 really powerful emotions. A pattern so deep that most of us don't even see it as a trap. We just call it life.
And here's how the trap works, right? You get a job to earn some money. You use that money to pay your bills. But then you see something you want, a nicer car, a bigger house. So you work harder to get a raise. But when you finally get it, your lifestyle gets more expensive. The bills get bigger. And the trap just resets at a higher income level. The bigger paycheck is never the escape.
So if the rat race is the trap, what's building the cage? Well, the mentor explained that it all comes down to 2 powerful primal emotions that control pretty much everyone's financial decisions.
Fear and desire. It's so simple. The fear of not being able to pay your bills, that's the push that gets you out of bed into a job you might not even like. And then, once you get that paycheck, desire is the pull that makes you dream about all the cool stuff you can buy. These 2 forces just keep that wheel spinning and spinning.
And this right here is the key to escaping. You have to stop letting your emotions do the thinking. You have to observe the fear, observe the desire, but don't react to them. Instead, you have to ask a logical question. Is working harder at this job the real long-term solution to my money problems, or is it just a short-term fix? And with that, the mentor makes his most shocking offer yet. To truly learn this lesson, the boys have to keep working, but now for nothing. 0 pay. The goal was to completely force their brains to start looking for opportunities, not for a paycheck.
So for 3 more weeks, they worked for free. And it was tough. I mean, they missed out on buying comic books. They felt like they were getting absolutely nowhere. And then, just when they were about to give up, they saw it.
They saw the store manager ripping the covers off of old comic books and just tossing the rest in a box to be destroyed. And that's when it clicked. Because their brains were no longer just looking for a paycheck, they were finally free to look for something else, an opportunity, one that was completely invisible to everybody else.
Their plan was so simple, it was brilliant. They asked a comic book distributor if they could just have the destroyed comics for free. And he said yes. So they opened a comic book library in an empty room. They hired Mike's sister for $1 a week to be the librarian, and they charged other kids 10 cents for admission. And the result? They were pulling in an average of $9.50 a week. For a 9-year-old in the 50s, that was a fortune. But here's the real magic. The business made money whether they were there or not. They had created their very first asset.
And that was it. That was the ultimate lesson. By stepping away from the paycheck, they had created a system where money was flowing to them totally independent of their own time and labor. They had finally learned what it really means to have money work for you instead of you working for money.
So the real question here isn't about comic books. It's about your life. Are you just chasing the carrot, that next paycheck, that next raise? Or are you training your brain to see the opportunities that are invisible to everyone else? The choice to stop running and start building, that's yours. And hey, if this lesson sparked an idea for you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful content like this.